Deathworlder Cadet slept through every lesson, then destroyed final exam in 43 seconds with one hand. The shuttle that brought him down from his homeworld had barely landed before he stepped onto the metal platform, stretching his long legs and blinking at the bright lights of the academy. His world was different from most. Liam came from a death world, a planet where storms could rip through towns in minutes, where predators hunted everything, and where survival was not just a skill but a way of life. He had grown up running, hiding, fighting, and learning without teachers or schools. That made him strong, fast, and careful, but it also made him very sleepy in classes. The academy was enormous. Towers of glass and steel reached into the sky, and ships from hundreds of different planets sat on landing pads. Alien cadets of all shapes and sizes walked around, their skin colors ranging from bright blue to dark green, some with scales, some with feathers, and some with eyes that glowed faintly. They looked at Liam with curiosity. Humans were not rare in the galaxy, but they were often underestimated. A single human in this sea of powerful alien cadets did not look dangerous. Liam's small frame and calm steps only made him seem weaker than the rest. As he walked, he felt eyes on him. Alien cadets whispered to each other, pointing at him. He ignored them. Some tried to shout insults, but Liam kept walking without a word. His mind was calm. He knew how things worked. Deathworlders learned to ignore distractions because paying attention to every threat could exhaust someone quickly. He had learned to pick his battles. The first class was the combat orientation lesson. Instructor Kayla Vorn, a tall reptilian officer with green scales and sharp teeth, stood at the front. She had seen hundreds of cadets and she could sense who had potential and who would fail. Her eyes scanned the room and rested on Liam. She frowned. "Another human," she said quietly to herself. "They rarely survive here." The alien cadets around Liam were energetic. One of them, a tall, blue-skinned male named Thrix, tapped his clawed fingers together and smirked. "Watch this human. He'll fall asleep before the lesson ends," he whispered to another cadet. Others laughed quietly. Liam walked to the back of the room and sat on a bench, stretching his arms and yawning. The lesson began. Instructor Vorn demonstrated hand-to-hand combat moves, alien weapon handling, and tactical formations. Most cadets copied her carefully, trying to match every movement. Liam, however, leaned back on the bench, closed his eyes, and rested his head. He was asleep within minutes. The aliens gasped. Thrix and the others were delighted. "See," Thrix whispered, "he's useless." They chuckled quietly. Instructor Vorn frowned again. "Harper," she called. Liam opened one eye lazily. "Yes, instructor," he said, voice calm. "Stand up and follow my demonstration." Liam yawned and got to his feet slowly. He walked to the front of the room and watched Instructor Vorn perform a complex maneuver. Instead of copying it like the other cadets, Liam moved in a way that seemed careless. His steps were slow, almost lazy, but every movement was precise. When he finished, Instructor Vorn stopped and stared. Something was different. Liam had done the same maneuver, but it flowed naturally, as if he already knew every move instinctively. The alien cadets looked shocked. Thrix frowned. "Beginner luck," he muttered. The next lessons were no different. Liam slept through alien history, galactic laws, and technology classes. He even dozed while practicing complex weapon simulations. Each time, alien cadets whispered, laughed, and made fun of him. But each time when a test or drill came, Liam performed better than almost everyone. He did not need to study because he had learned in his own way. On his death world, danger was a teacher. His senses were sharp, his mind fast, and his body trained by real threats, not books or lectures. Outside the classrooms, the academy's corridors buzzed with activity. Ships landed and took off. Cadets ran through drills, shouting orders and signals in alien languages. Liam moved through the halls calmly, not rushing. His small bag swung gently on his shoulder. Sometimes, alien cadets tried to block his path, teasing him or trying to make him stumble. Liam never reacted with anger. He stepped aside, sidestepped, or sometimes let them pass and kept walking. Every move was natural. It was as if he knew what would happen before it did. By the end of the first week, rumors had spread about the sleeping human. Some laughed, some ignored him, and some, like Instructor Vorn, grew concerned. She had never seen a cadet who could ignore every lesson and still perform above average in drills. Liam never spoke much about himself. He answered questions when asked, but he did not brag. He did not need to. His life on a death world had taught him humility and patience. One evening, after another long day of classes, Liam found himself at the academy's training yard. It was empty except for a few late-night cadets practicing their drills. The yard was huge, with simulated terrains, walls, and obstacles. Liam stretched, preparing for a small personal exercise. No one had asked him to do this, but he enjoyed testing himself. He picked up a practice weapon, a simple training staff, and began moving through the obstacles. He jumped over barriers, ducked under swinging gates, and dodged mechanical drones that flew toward him. His movements were fluid, precise, and fast. He was alone, yet he felt alive in a way that the classrooms could never give him. Each jump, each dodge was a memory from his world. A storm, a predator, a collapsing tree, a hidden trap. His body reacted instinctively. A group of cadets, curious, watched from a distance. They whispered, pointing at him. "He moves too smoothly," one said. "How is this human so fast?" Another shrugged. "He's probably lucky," they said, but their eyes showed doubt. Liam noticed nothing. He was focused entirely on the exercise. Later, Instructor Vorn arrived. She had been observing quietly. She leaned against a wall, her tail flicking. "Liam Harper," she said. He turned and nodded respectfully. "Instructor, why do you ignore all lessons and still perform so well?" she asked. Liam smiled faintly. "I learn differently, Instructor. My world taught me to survive in ways that no classroom can." Vorn frowned, considering this. Most alien cadets depended on instruction, textbooks, and simulations. Liam had not followed a single lesson fully, yet he was faster, smarter, and stronger in his instincts. It was confusing. She had to admit with a small nod that this human was unusual. The days passed. Liam continued sleeping in lessons, eating quietly, walking calmly through the corridors, and training alone at night. Alien cadets mocked him, challenged him, and sometimes tried to trap him during drills. Liam handled everything with minimal effort, often finishing tasks in ways the others had not considered. One morning, the academy announced that the final exam would come in a few weeks. It was the ultimate test for all cadets, a simulation designed to test combat, strategy, alien technology, and survival under extreme conditions. Alien cadets began preparing, studying manuals, practicing in teams, and showing off their skills. Liam listened to no one. He did not panic, he did not study. He kept his calm, slept when he wanted, and trained quietly at night. Thrix, who had mocked Liam the most, was furious. "This human will fail," he said to his friends. "I will make sure of it. I will make him pay for making us look weak." The others nodded, eager to see Liam struggle. They did not realize that Liam's strength was not in studying or showing off. It was in living every day ready for danger. Even Instructor Vorn felt a mix of curiosity and worry. She could not predict what Liam would do. Every time she tried to test him, he surprised her. His calm eyes, his slow movements, and his quiet confidence made her wonder if humans were truly weaker, or if she had simply misunderstood them. As the academy buzzed with preparation for the final exam, Liam Harper sat quietly in a corner of the training yard, watching the stars. His eyes reflected the vastness of space. He did not worry about alien cadets, instructors, or the challenges ahead. He had survived storms, predators, and near-death experiences on his planet. Everything here was a game compared to that. Liam yawned. lay back on the cool metal floor and closed his eyes. Around him, the academy moved in chaos. Cadets ran, aliens shouted, instructors planned. But Liam slept, dreaming of nothing and everything, preparing in ways no one could see. The galaxy was about to learn that even the quietest, sleepiest human could hold more power than anyone imagined. And for now, Liam Harper slept, unaware of the attention, unaware of the doubts, but ready for everything that was coming. The next morning, the academy was alive with activity. The sun of the nearby star reflected off the metal surfaces of the training yards, and the sound of cadets shouting and weapons clashing filled the air. Alien cadets moved in groups, practicing drills and demonstrating their skills. Some flew on hoverboards, some leapt incredible distances, and others practiced strange energy weapons that hummed with power. All of them were focused on one thing, the final exam that was coming in a few weeks. Liam Harper moved quietly through the yard. He carried no weapons, no special gear. He wore the simple training uniform of the academy, the same as everyone else. His steps were slow and deliberate, almost as if he did not care about anything. Alien cadets whispered as he passed. "Look at him," said a red-skinned female cadet with 3 eyes named Vera. "He doesn't even carry a weapon. How is he even surviving here?" "He's a human," said a smaller cadet named Lorne. "They are weak, slow, and soft. He's probably going to fail the final exam." But Liam did not hear them. His eyes scanned the training yard calmly, noting everything. He watched a drone fly past and caught the movement of a small mechanical trap on the floor, avoiding it with a gentle step. Nothing surprised him. On his death world, every day was a fight for survival. Traps, predators, storms, he had faced them all. The Academy's challenges were nothing compared to that. In the classrooms, alien cadets pored over manuals and holographic simulations. They practiced every day, memorizing procedures, strategies, and combat techniques. Liam, on the other hand, rarely attended classes. When he did, he leaned back and closed his eyes, appearing to sleep through the lessons. Instructor Kayla Vorn often watched him, frowning. She could not understand how a cadet could ignore every lesson and still perform better in drills. Despite sleeping in class, Liam's mind was active. While he rested, his brain worked differently. He imagined battle scenarios, studied alien tactics in his mind, and learned from his observations. He did not need teachers to explain things to him. His instincts and experiences did that naturally. On his homeworld, he had learned faster than any instructor could teach. He had memorized the movements of predators, predicted storms, and mastered tools without anyone showing him. Now, at the academy, he used the same method. One afternoon, Liam wandered into the weapons practice area. It was a large hall filled with alien weapons, some of which emitted energy beams, while others were mechanical and heavy. Alien cadets were practicing carefully, following the instructions of their instructors. They moved with precision, trying to avoid mistakes. Liam picked up a small staff weapon that no one was using. It was simple, but it had a strong core and could deliver heavy blows. He spun it in his hand slowly, feeling its weight and balance. At first, nothing happened. Liam simply stood there, turning the weapon over and over. The other cadets laughed quietly. "He's just wasting time," muttered Thrix. "He'll break it by accident if he tries to fight with it." But then Liam began moving. His movements were slow at first, almost lazy. Then, with a sudden burst of speed, he struck a target drone across the room. The drone spun, wobbled, and stopped completely. Other cadets gasped. Liam did not stop. He moved through the hall, striking every target with perfect timing. Every move was precise, effortless, and accurate. It was as if he had done it 1,000 times before. Instructor Vorn watched from the doorway. Her eyes widened. "Impossible," she whispered. "He hasn't practiced with that weapon, yet he handles it better than anyone else here." The aliens around Liam were shocked. Some whispered, some stared in disbelief. Thrix clenched his fists. "How is he doing that?" he asked angrily. "This isn't possible for a human." Liam finished the exercise and gently set the staff down. He did not smile, did not boast. He simply walked away, calm and quiet. No one could explain it. Later that day, the academy had a simulation exercise. Cadets were placed in a virtual battlefield where they had to navigate dangerous terrain, avoid traps, and defeat simulated enemies. Teams were formed quickly and every cadet wanted to show their skill. Liam's team was assigned last. The alien cadets looked at him with disdain. "You will slow us down," Vera said. "Just try not to ruin the mission." Liam nodded calmly. "I will do my best," he said softly. No one believed him. They assumed he would fail quickly and they prepared to carry the team on their own. The simulation started. Alien cadets ran, jumped, and fired energy weapons at holographic enemies. Liam walked slowly, taking careful steps. The first obstacle was a collapsing bridge. While the others jumped in fear, Liam analyzed the structure and leapt in the perfect moment, landing safely on the other side. The cadets stared. Next, they encountered enemy drones that fired beams of energy. The alien cadets panicked, firing wildly. Liam moved calmly, dodging every attack and disabling drones with calculated strikes. His movements were fast and precise, yet his expression never changed. By the end of the simulation, Liam's team had completed the mission faster than any other team. They had avoided traps, neutralized enemies, and reached the objective with minimal damage. The alien cadets were shocked. Vera and Thrix could not hide their disbelief. You cheated somehow," Thrix stammered. "There is no way a human could do that." Liam shook his head. "I did not cheat," he said simply. "I just moved carefully and used what I know." Instructor Vorn stepped forward. "Harper," she said, her voice firm. "Explain how you did that. You ignored all lessons and still succeeded where others failed." Liam looked at her, calm and steady. "Instructor, I learned differently. On my planet, survival is the only lesson. Every day is training. I do not need books or teachers to prepare me. My mind and body have learned what to do on their own." Vorn's eyes narrowed. She had expected excuses, but Liam's explanation made sense. The alien cadets had relied on instruction, memorization, and teamwork. Liam relied on instinct, experience, and observation. It was a different kind of strength, one they could not understand. Over the next week, Liam continued to surprise everyone. He slept during lessons, trained quietly at night, and performed perfectly in every drill. Alien cadets tried to test him, set traps and challenge him, but he moved through everything with ease. Even Thrix, who had been his loudest critic, began to feel fear and respect. One night, Liam sat alone on the training yard, looking at the stars. The sky above the academy was filled with planets, moons, and distant ships. It reminded him of his homeworld, where the sky was often filled with storms and predators. He smiled faintly. Nothing here was as dangerous as what he had faced. Instructor Vorn approached quietly. "Liam," she said, her voice soft, "do you realize how different you are from every other cadet here?" "I know," Liam replied simply. "I am used to it. My world is different. I survive differently. That is all." Vorn nodded. "You are also dangerous, though. Very few cadets could do what you do. Most would fail, even with all the lessons and training." Liam shrugged. "I do what I must to survive. That is all." The alien cadets continued to watch him with suspicion and curiosity. They could not understand him, and that made them nervous. Some whispered that humans were stronger than they appeared. Others said he was lucky, but all of them agreed on one thing. Liam Harper was not like any other cadet they had seen. As the final exam approached, tension in the academy grew. Alien cadets practiced harder, worked in teams, and tried to show their strength. Liam continued his routine, sleeping through lessons, walking calmly through the halls, and training quietly when no one was watching. Every night he tested himself with small exercises, perfecting his movements, learning every weakness in the Academy's systems and preparing without anyone noticing. The aliens did not understand. They could see the results, but they could not see the preparation. They assumed he was lazy, weak, and foolish. Liam smiled quietly to himself. That was exactly how he wanted it. They would not expect what was coming. One afternoon, Liam walked past the final exam simulation area. He paused and looked at the machines, the weapons, and the complex obstacles. His eyes reflected a faint smile. He had seen all of this before in his own way. Nothing was new, nothing was surprising. Every trap, every enemy, every puzzle could be solved. And he would do it in his own time, without panic, without effort, and without anyone understanding how. As the day ended, cadets returned to their quarters, exhausted from practice. Liam lay down on a bench in the training yard, closing his eyes. The stars above shone brightly and the hum of the academy faded. He breathed slowly, preparing himself. He was not worried, he was not afraid, and he was ready. Because Liam Harper, the human from a death world, was about to show the galaxy a strength they could not understand. And the final exam was only the beginning. The day of the final exam arrived, and the academy was buzzing with tension. Cadets rushed through the halls, checking their gear, reviewing strategies, and practicing last-minute drills. Alien instructors moved quickly, giving instructions, answering questions, and reminding cadets that this exam would decide who could graduate and who would fail. For most, the final exam was the ultimate challenge, a test of intelligence, skill, endurance, and courage. Liam Harper walked through the main hall calmly. He carried nothing but his training uniform and a small bag. Other cadets stared at him, whispering to each other. "Look at him," one cadet said. "He's not carrying any weapons. He doesn't even look ready." "He'll fail in seconds," said another. "Humans can't survive this exam." Liam ignored them. His calm expression and slow steps made him appear lazy, but inside he was already preparing. He knew what the exam would be like. He had watched the training simulations, studied the layout of the arena quietly, and thought through possible challenges in his mind. Nothing here was new, nothing could surprise him. Instructor Kayla Vorn stood at the entrance of the exam arena, her eyes scanning all the cadets. Her green scales shone in the sunlight, and her sharp teeth showed slightly as she spoke. "Cadets," she said, her voice firm, "today you will face the final test. It is designed to push your mind, body, and skill to the limit. Only those who can think, fight, and survive will succeed. Remember, the goal is not only speed but efficiency and strategy." The cadets nodded, their energy high and nervousness low. They had trained for weeks. They were ready, or at least they believed they were. Liam Harper, however, stood quietly at the back, eyes half closed, breathing slowly. To most, he looked unprepared, but he was calm and alert, ready for everything. The arena doors opened, revealing the exam field. It was a massive structure, covering several kilometers, with uneven terrain, traps, hidden drones, and simulated enemy forces. Alien cadets gasped at the complexity. Some muttered that this was impossible to complete alone, even in teams. "Cadets, you have 1 hour to complete the mission," Instructor Vorn announced. "Begin." A loud horn sounded and chaos erupted. Alien cadets ran, shouting orders, firing energy weapons at drones, leaping over obstacles, and trying to move as quickly as possible. Liam Harper walked forward slowly, taking calm, measured steps. He did not rush. He did not panic. He observed everything. The first obstacle was a collapsing bridge suspended over a deep canyon. Alien cadets dashed across, some falling and barely catching the edges. Liam stopped at the edge, crouched slightly, and watched the structure carefully. He noticed the weak points in the bridge, the timing of the swaying supports, and the placement of the energy barriers. Then with a single smooth leap he crossed the bridge in a perfect arc, landing safely on the other side. Cadets nearby stared in shock. How did he do that?" one whispered. "He didn't even run," another said. "He just jumped." Next, Liam faced a field of laser turrets, moving in complex patterns. Other cadets panicked, firing blindly and ducking behind cover. Liam moved calmly, timing each step with precision. He dodged the beams, using shadows and the angles of the turrets to his advantage. When a turret aimed directly at him, he grabbed a nearby control panel and disabled it with one hand. The turret fell silent. A group of alien cadets tried to ambush him. They jumped out from behind rocks, firing energy weapons. Liam moved without fear. He sidestepped one cadet, ducked under a swinging drone, and used a fallen beam to knock another off balance. He did not shout, did not rush, and did not panic. Every movement was natural, precise, and deadly effective. Instructor Vorn watched from above, her eyes wide. She had never seen anything like this. Other cadets moved frantically, relying on manuals and rehearsed strategies, while Liam adapted instantly to every situation. His calm mind allowed him to predict outcomes, his instincts guided him, and his Deathworld training gave him the strength and speed to survive. The next obstacle was a maze of alien technology. Doors opened and closed, walls shifted, and traps triggered with sensors. Alien cadets rushed through, triggering alarms and falling into traps. Liam paused at the entrance, observing the patterns. He walked slowly, stepping exactly where needed, avoiding every trap. When he reached the center, he used his hand to manipulate a control panel, disabling several obstacles at once. A few cadets tried to follow him, but they could not match his movements. Thrix, who had been watching from a distance, growled in frustration. "He's impossible," he shouted. "He hasn't studied, he hasn't prepared, and he's moving faster than us all." Liam ignored him. His mind was focused on the mission, not on the opinions of others. Further into the arena, the cadets encountered simulated enemies. They were robotic creatures with claws, energy weapons, and high-speed movement. Alien cadets fired wildly, trying to keep up. Liam, however, moved calmly, striking drones with precise blows, using one hand to disarm weapons and the other to disable drones completely. He did not panic, he did not make mistakes. His instincts, honed by survival on a death world, guided every move. Cadets nearby could not believe what they saw. He's doing it with one hand," Vera whispered, eyes wide. "Yes, one hand," Lorne replied. "There is no way." Time passed and the chaos continued. Teams of cadets were falling behind, some injured by traps, some overwhelmed by drones. Liam continued moving, calm and steady. He avoided every danger, neutralized every threat, and adapted to every obstacle with ease. Finally, Liam reached the last part of the arena. It was a high tower with multiple levels, protected by a complex lock system and guarded by the most dangerous drones in the simulation. Alien cadets struggled to climb, triggering alarms and falling into traps. Liam paused at the base of the tower, studying the structure. With a slow smile, he began to move. One hand held onto the railing, the other manipulated the lock system. Within seconds, he disabled the security measures. Drones approached, but he struck them down with effortless precision. He climbed the tower swiftly, each step exact, each move calculated. When he reached the top, he activated the final control panel. A green light flashed, signaling completion. He had finished the final exam. Instructor Vorn looked at the timer. 43 seconds. Liam Harper had completed the exam in 43 seconds. Every other cadet had taken minutes, many still struggling. The alien cadets gasped. Thrix's jaw dropped. 43 seconds, he did it in 43 seconds. Vera shook her head. "This is impossible, a human, faster than all of us combined." Liam stood at the top of the tower, calm and relaxed. His eyes scanned the arena. Everything had been completed perfectly, without mistakes, without panic. He did not smile, he did not boast. He simply breathed slowly, calm and collected, waiting for the next instruction. Instructor Vorn descended to the ground, her face pale but composed. She approached Liam. "Cadet Harper," she said, her voice firm but quiet, "explain how you accomplished this. You ignored lessons, slept in class, and yet completed the final exam faster than anyone in history." Liam looked at her calmly. "Instructor," he said, "I learned differently. My world taught me how to survive. I do not need lessons to guide me. I watch, I think, I act." "That is all." Vorn nodded slowly, understanding more than she wanted to admit. Humans were unpredictable, their instincts sharp, and their survival skills unmatched. She had always underestimated them. She had learned that day that humans could achieve things no other species could, even without study, without manuals, and without careful preparation. The alien cadets around them were silent. They had watched in awe, disbelief, and fear. The lazy human had shown them a strength they could not understand, a speed and precision that defied everything they had learned. Thrix stepped forward, anger and respect mixed on his face. "Cadet Harper," he said, voice shaking, how can you be so strong and fast without even trying?" Liam shrugged. "I have learned to survive," he said simply. "That is all." The other cadets stared, unable to comprehend how one human could achieve what entire teams of aliens could not. Some whispered, some shook their heads, and some simply stood in silence. Instructor Vorn finally spoke again. "Cadet Harper, you have proven something today. Not just skill, but a truth about humans. You may appear weak, slow, or lazy, but you are capable of things no other cadet could imagine. This is a lesson to all of you." Liam nodded slightly. He did not need praise. He had done what he had always done: survive, adapt, and succeed. The Academy would remember this day, and the alien cadets would never underestimate a human again. As the cadets left the arena, still in shock, Liam Harper walked calmly toward the exit. He passed teams of aliens who looked at him with new respect, though some still could not understand how he did it. He walked slowly, breathing evenly, and smiled faintly. For him, the exam had been simple. For the galaxy, it was a lesson in fear, respect, and the hidden strength of humans. That night, Liam returned to his quarters. He stretched, sat by the window, and looked at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and challenges, but he was ready. He had survived this test, and he would survive anything the future could throw at him. And as he closed his eyes to rest, the cadets who had mocked him, the instructors who had doubted him, and the aliens who had whispered about human weakness all realized one undeniable truth: humans were not to be underestimated. The final exam had begun hours ago, but the Academy was already buzzing with whispers and shocked murmurs. Alien cadets were still struggling through traps, puzzles, and simulated enemies. Some had reached halfway, exhausted and frustrated. Others had been forced to retreat after triggering deadly mechanisms. Instructor Kayla Vorn watched from above, noting every failure, every mistake. Most cadets were panicking, relying on manuals and team strategies, but failing repeatedly. Liam Harper moved calmly through the arena, his eyes half closed, his steps deliberate. He carried nothing but his training uniform, but his body was ready for everything. Alien cadets watched him from a distance, unable to believe that a human could move so slowly and still dominate the challenges. The first obstacle Liam faced was a field of spinning energy blades, each moving at unpredictable speeds. Alien cadets approached with caution, some leaping, some ducking, most panicking and hesitating. Liam stopped at the edge, observing the pattern of the blades carefully. His mind calculated each swing, each pause, and each opening. With a slow breath, he stepped forward. His movements were smooth, almost lazy, but precise. The blades spun past him, barely missing, as if the air around him parted. One hand touched the handle of a small device nearby, sending a pulse that slowed two of the blades. In less than 10 seconds, the obstacle was cleared. Nearby cadets could not believe their eyes. How did he do that?" whispered Vera, her 3 eyes wide with shock. Thrix growled in frustration. No human should be able to do that. He cheated somehow. Liam ignored them. He did not need to explain himself. He simply moved on, calm and unbothered. The next section of the arena was more complex. A series of platforms floated above a pit of energy fields, moving and shifting constantly. Alien cadets tried to jump, sprint, and time their moves. Many fell, triggering alarms, while others barely caught themselves and continued with difficulty. Liam approached the first platform slowly. He measured the distance, felt the rhythm of the movement, and then leapt. He landed perfectly, one hand gripping a support bar as he adjusted his balance. Each jump after that was flawless, each step exact. He moved faster than the eye could follow, yet it looked effortless. As he reached the final platform, a group of drones activated. They were sleek, fast, and armed with energy weapons. Alien cadets panicked, firing blindly, retreating and hiding behind barriers. Liam, however, moved like water. He dodged the beams with smooth twists and flips, striking the drones with precise, calculated hits. One hand grabbed a control panel, deactivating a turret, while the other hand pushed a drone off balance, sending it spinning to the ground. Instructor Vorn, observing from above, was pale. Her mind raced. She had never seen anything like this. Every simulation, every scenario, every trap that had been designed to challenge the cadets had failed against Liam Harper. "Impossible," she whispered. "He has not studied, yet he is faster, stronger, and smarter than anyone here." The next challenge was a complex puzzle. Doors and panels required coordination, timing, and understanding of alien technology. Other cadets struggled for minutes, flipping switches, triggering alarms, and trying to guess the right combination. Liam walked up to the puzzle slowly, examining it. He did not rush. He touched a panel with one hand, then another, then pulled a lever. A sequence of clicks followed and the doors opened smoothly. Not a single alarm was triggered. He moved through, calm and focused. Alien cadets watched in disbelief. "He did it with one hand," Lorne whispered. "One hand? How is that possible?" Thrix gritted his teeth. "This human, he is impossible. No one should be able to do that." Liam did not respond. He did not need to. Every step, every movement, every action was natural, instinctive, and precise. The final section of the arena was the most difficult. A large chamber with multiple levels, defended by the most dangerous drones, energy traps, and moving platforms. It was designed to take minutes, maybe even half an hour to complete. Alien cadets approached cautiously, strategizing in groups. Most failed immediately, triggering alarms and traps, forcing them to retreat. Liam approached the chamber calmly. He paused at the entrance, breathing slowly. He could see the patterns of the traps, the timing of the drones, and the weak points in the structure. His mind worked quickly, calculating movements, anticipating attacks, and preparing for each obstacle. With a single smooth step, he entered the chamber. Drones activated, spinning and firing beams, but Liam moved with fluid precision. One hand struck a drone, sending it spinning to the floor. Another drone charged at him, but he sidestepped, using a platform to launch himself into the air and landing perfectly. He reached the control panel that would mark the completion of the exam. The alien cadets watching gasped. Liam had reached it faster than anyone thought possible. In 43 seconds, he activated the final system. The green light flashed, signaling completion. The academy fell silent. Every cadet, every instructor, every observer was stunned. Liam Harper, the lazy human, had completed the final exam in 43 seconds. No one had ever finished it that fast, let alone with such calm and precision. Thrix stared, his face pale. 43 seconds, how is that even possible? Vera shook her head. I don't understand. He didn't even look like he was trying. Instructor Vorn descended quickly, her expression unreadable. She approached Liam, who was standing calmly, one hand in his pocket, the other relaxed at his side. "Cadet Harper," she said, voice steady but intense. "Explain yourself. You have ignored lessons, slept in class, and yet you completed the final exam faster than any cadet in history. How? Liam looked at her calmly. Instructor, he said simply, I have learned differently. My world taught me to survive. I do not need lessons to guide me. I watch, I think, I act, that is all. Vorn's eyes narrowed. She had always thought humans were weak, slow, and fragile. Now she realized that she had been wrong, very wrong. Liam Harper was not just strong. He was precise, calm, and unstoppable. The alien cadets around them were silent. They could not comprehend what they had seen. Every obstacle, every trap, every simulated enemy had been defeated by one human in less than a minute with one hand. Some whispered, others shook their heads, but all of them knew one truth. Humans could not be underestimated. Thrick stepped forward, anger and awe mixed on his face. Cadet Harper, he said, voice trembling, how can one human do all this? Liam shrugged slightly. I have survived what you cannot imagine, he said. That is all. The other cadets stared, unable to understand. Some began to murmur among themselves, realizing that everything they had thought about humans was wrong. Vera stepped closer, her eyes wide. He is not like any human I have ever seen, she whispered. Instructor Vorn nodded slowly. You have proven something today, Cadet Harper. Not only skill, but a truth about humans. You may appear weak, slow, or lazy, but you are capable of things no other cadet could imagine. Today you have shown the galaxy the power of instinct, survival, and calm thinking. Liam nodded slightly. He did not need praise. He had done what he always did, survive, adapt, and succeed. The Academy, the alien cadets, and even Instructor Vorn could not understand how he had done it. But that did not matter. As he walked calmly from the arena, alien cadets stepped aside, staring with a mix of fear and respect. Teams who had mocked him now whispered quietly, unable to comprehend the events. Even those who had trained harder, studied more, and planned better had been outclassed in every way. That night, the Academy was quiet. Liam sat on the training yard, looking at the stars above. He breathed slowly, relaxed and unbothered. Alien cadets continued to talk in whispers about him, but he ignored them. Instructor Vorn approached quietly and stood next to him. You have changed everything today, Cadet Harper, she said softly. The other cadets will never see humans the same way again. Liam nodded. I do not need them to. I only need to survive. The instructors and cadets watched him silently. For the first time, they realized that humans were not just another species to teach or underestimate. Humans were dangerous, unpredictable, and capable of things no other species could imagine. And Liam Harper, calm, precise, and unassuming, had just destroyed the final exam in 43 seconds with one hand, leaving the entire Academy speechless. After the final exam, the Academy was quiet, but the atmosphere was tense. Alien cadets whispered everywhere, some in fear, some in awe. The news had spread quickly. Liam Harper, the human from a death world, had completed the final exam in 43 seconds. Not minutes, seconds, one hand. The other cadets who had trained harder, studied more, and prepared longer could not comprehend it. Instructor Kayla Vorn called all cadets to the main hall. Her green scales shimmered in the light, and her sharp teeth showed slightly as she spoke. Cadets, she said firmly, today you have seen something you should never forget. One human, who appeared to be weak, lazy, and careless, has shown us the truth about instinct, training, and survival. Liam Harper has completed the final exam faster than any cadet in history. This is a lesson to all of you. Never underestimate a human. The alien cadets were silent. Even Thrix, who had been the loudest critic, stepped back, his jaw tight. He had spent weeks mocking Liam, planning ways to make him fail, and now he had to swallow his pride. Vera and Lorne exchanged glances. They could not believe what they had seen. Liam, who had slept through every lesson, trained alone at night, and never seemed serious, had outperformed every single cadet in the academy. Liam stepped forward slowly, calm and relaxed. He bowed slightly to Instructor Vorn, then looked around at the other cadets. He did not shout. He did not boast. He simply stood there, quiet and unassuming. His small frame, calm eyes, and relaxed posture did not seem threatening. But every cadet knew that he had just done something beyond their understanding. Vorn nodded, her expression unreadable. "Cadet Harper," she said, "you have proven more than skill today. You have shown the value of instinct, patience, and calm thinking under pressure. You are hereby recognized as the top cadet of your class." A few alien cadets gasped. Some tried to protest, saying humans were not supposed to be the best. Thrix clenched his fists. "This isn't fair," he muttered. "He barely participated in lessons." "How can he be better than all of us?" Liam shook his head. "It is not about fairness," he said simply. "It is about survival. I do what I must to succeed." The alien cadets realized something important. They had trained to follow rules, memorize lessons, and use strategy. Liam had done none of that, yet he had succeeded where they had failed. His strength was not just skill, it was instinct, adaptability, and calm focus. It was something that could not be taught in a classroom. The academy held a ceremony later that day. Cadets, instructors, and officials gathered in the main hall. Liam Harper stood quietly at the front as Instructor Vorn spoke. "Today," she said, "we have learned that humans are not to be underestimated. They may appear weak, lazy, or careless. But their instincts, endurance, and ability to survive are unmatched. Liam Harper has set a new standard for this academy." Applause echoed through the hall. Some cadets clapped hesitantly, still in disbelief. Others stared in awe. Liam accepted the recognition quietly. He did not smile broadly or boast. He simply nodded and returned to his seat. Later in the training yard, the alien cadets who had mocked him approached. Thrix was first. "Cadet Harper," he said, his voice low, I misjudged you. You are stronger and faster than any of us. I want to learn from you." Liam looked at him calmly. "I do not teach pride," he said. "I only show what is necessary to survive. If you want to learn, watch and think. That is all." Vera and Lorne nodded silently. They realized that human strength was not in technology or size, but in instinct and adaptability. Liam Harper had not only passed the final exam, he had changed the way they would think about humans forever. Instructor Vorn watched quietly from a distance. She had doubted humans for years. She had underestimated their potential, their instincts, and their survival skills. Now she understood. Liam Harper was not an exception. He was proof that humans, even when appearing lazy or weak, could achieve what no other species could. The academy continued its usual routine, but nothing felt the same. Alien cadets moved differently, thinking twice before mocking humans or assuming their weakness. Liam Harper walked calmly through the halls, sleeping through lessons when he wanted, training quietly at night, and always appearing relaxed. But everyone knew that behind that calm exterior was unmatched skill and instinct. A few days later, Liam was approached by a group of instructors. "Cadet Harper," Vorn said, "the academy would like you to participate in advanced training exercises. You will work with elite cadets and instructors to prepare for missions that require human-level instincts and adaptability. Are you willing?" Liam nodded slowly. "I will do what is necessary," he said. The alien cadets watched as he trained with advanced teams. He moved with ease, adapting instantly to new weapons, strategies, and environments. He taught nothing with words, but his actions showed what humans were capable of. Other cadets watched and learned, realizing that no lesson could match instinct and experience gained from life-and-death situations. Thrix, who had once mocked him, now observed quietly. He saw that no one could match Liam's calm, precise movements. Even in simulated attacks, Liam moved faster and smarter than everyone else. Thrix finally understood. Humans were not just strong, they were unpredictable, adaptable, and capable of incredible focus under pressure. One evening, Liam walked to the Academy's highest tower and looked at the galaxy beyond. The stars glimmered, and distant planets shone faintly. He thought of his homeworld, the storms, the predators, the dangers that had shaped him. Compared to that, the Academy's exams were simple, but he also realized that the galaxy was vast and full of challenges. Every mission, every encounter, every enemy would require the same calm focus and instinct that had carried him through the final exam. Instructor Vorn joined him silently. "You have changed everything here," she said softly. "Humans will be respected and feared in this academy from now on. You have shown them what we often forget. Survival is not just about skill or technology, but about instinct and calm thinking." Liam nodded. "I do not seek respect," he said simply. "I only seek to survive and succeed." The alien cadets who had mocked him before now approached him, quietly asking questions, observing his movements and trying to understand. They realized that humans, even when appearing lazy, could teach lessons that no book or simulation could provide. Liam Harper had not only passed the final exam, he had changed the academy forever. Weeks later, graduation arrived. Cadets stood in their uniforms, proud and nervous. Instructor Vorn stepped forward to give the final speech. "Today, you graduate from the Galactic Military Academy. You have trained hard, learned well, and faced challenges that tested every skill. But remember this: the galaxy is full of surprises. Some creatures, some species, some individuals may appear weak or ordinary, but they can be dangerous beyond imagination. Liam Harper has shown us that humans, even when calm and unassuming, possess instincts, endurance, and skill that no other species can match." Applause filled the hall. Alien cadets looked at Liam with awe. Even those who had doubted him now bowed slightly in respect. Liam accepted his recognition quietly, his calm demeanor never changing. After the ceremony, cadets returned to their quarters, talking quietly. Some whispered about the final exam, still in disbelief. Others discussed Liam's actions, realizing that humans could not be measured by ordinary standards. Liam sat quietly in a corner, looking at the stars above, thinking of the future. Thrix approached him one last time. "Cadet Harper," he said, voice low and respectful, "I understand now. Humans are different, stronger than we thought. I want to watch, learn, and not underestimate you again." Liam nodded slightly. "Watch, think, and survive," he said simply. "That is all anyone can do." As the cadets and instructors moved on, the academy itself seemed changed. Alien cadets approached challenges differently. Instructors reconsidered their strategies, and humans were no longer seen as weak or unprepared. Liam Harper had done more than pass the final exam. He had proven the hidden strength of humans. That night, Liam lay in his quarters looking at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers, challenges, and unknown enemies, but he was ready. He had survived a death world, dominated the academy, and shown the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. He closed his eyes, calm and relaxed, ready for whatever came next. In the quiet halls of the academy, cadets still whispered. "The human, he is something else," Vera said softly. "Yes," Lorne replied. "We have learned that humans are not weak. We have learned to respect them." Even Instructor Vorn shook her head, smiling faintly. "Liam Harper," she said quietly, "you have changed everything." And so, the academy, the cadets, and the galaxy learned a simple truth. Humans may appear ordinary, lazy, or weak, but they are capable of extraordinary things. Liam Harper had slept through lessons, trained quietly, and destroyed the final exam in 43 seconds with one hand. He had shown instinct, precision, calmness, and strength that no one could match. The galaxy would never forget him.